So moving on to what we're going to cover is today Facebook group options. If you've been running a membership for a while, yeah, you could probably skip this one because you probably know this. But I have seen a lot of people make some of the mistakes that we're going to help you avoid today. So it would be worth it, I think, to stick around and just make sure that your group settings are set up correctly. So I'm going to go through a list of those real quick of what they need to be. Facebook recently changed the way they handle this. So this is important to know to make sure your stuff's right. They have a privacy section so they can check the privacy of the group as part of the settings. And again, this is if you're including a group with your membership. If you're not, then it doesn't really matter. But most people do, especially with a free membership. So you got to make sure you set it to private. And the reason for that, you could go public with it potentially, but we've noticed that even with our group, we used to have it public, and then we were asked by some members that said, "Hey, you know what? I'm asking questions and blah blah blah. I don't want my friends to see what I'm asking in this group." So that's why I think for most people, this makes sense to be private. So that's visibility, and then private means no one can see what happens in the group. No one can see the posts, the comments, nothing. If you hide the group, which you want to set that to visible, that means no one can find it. If you don't set this to visible, then no one's going to be able to find your group and no one's going to be able to join to request the group. The only reason why you would have that not be visible is that if you're setting up a small group that you don't intend to have it grow of really maybe some intimate friends and you don't want random strangers requesting access. That's where this would make sense. But in your case, you do want people to find the group and try to join it. So you want to make sure you keep that one visible. So that's definitely a mistake I've seen people make. Some extra features, and that's literally what Facebook calls this feature. So some extra features. They used to call these units, now they call them guides. So we went through different ways of organizing content. I believe, I'm not sure if I updated it to the guides, but they used to be called units. You might want to add this section if you want to have like an intro or some sort of foundational course that you want to include with your Facebook group. They're called guides now. And then who can join the group? We're going to make sure I like setting it to only profiles. It's not too big of a deal if the group's free, but I do want to know who's actually joining. And when you let a page join, you don't really know who in that company is actually you're interacting with. So I like to set that to only profiles. And who can approve member requests? Only admins and moderators. Believe it or not, I've seen people forget to change this setting, and then they get random strangers being added to the group. So that's important. And then approve all member posts. That's optional. Some people, I like to leave that one off. But if you want only the admins and moderators to be able to create posts and then the members can respond to it with comments and text, pictures, and all that, that's great. Some people have done that way. That's very rare. Most people leave that off, and that's what I recommend. The last one is link pages. Make sure you link your Facebook page. So and like I said, these may seem beginner stuff, but it would be worth, if you haven't double checked your settings recently, to make sure you check these, because I have seen people make this mistake of not having this set up correctly, and then random people start getting added to the group and they don't even know where they came from. So or people can't find their group. They link their group from their sign up page on their Toy Search page, and then they're not finding the group or the link's not working. It's because they have it set to hidden instead of visible. So make sure to set that. And what I'm going to do now actually is play a small tutorial that kind of walks you through the steps to change these settings. And this is something that Margot prepped for us some time ago. So I believe it might still call it guides in there. I mean, units, but units has changed to guides very recently, as of maybe, I think, a week or two ago. But I'm going to go ahead and add that video real quick. And again, if you just want to see where the settings are set. So let me roll that through now.
Once in the settings, you will modify the name and description of the group, set it to private, and let the group be visible by others. After that, you're going to change your membership preferences so that only profiles can join your group and only admins and moderators can approve requests. We also have optional settings such as membership questions. We recommend you to add a question asking if a person has paid for the membership. Also, you can add post topics to your group. Click on Create and type any topic you like, such as fitness, food, or whatever you prefer for your group. You can also set rules for your group. Click on Get Started and choose among one of the example rules or write your own rules for the group. We recommend you to add on the description section of the group the sign up link or URL so people can join easily.
And I think that was it. So just an example of some of the settings that I discussed, some of the other ones that I didn't talk about as well.